friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Amanda. So today's video is all those Christmas appetizers, party foods, whatever you like to call them, but they're delicious and I think you're really going to enjoy these. So guys, today's video has 3 super easy and delicious appetizer recipes for you. These would be just perfect for holiday parties, Christmas parties, whatever you may have that you're hosting or going to. These were absolutely delicious, especially the roast beef sliders, but honestly, they were also good. I really don't know if I could even pick a favorite. Today's video is also really special because it's in collaboration with Jess over at Jess and the Boys. If you haven't been to her channel before, she does all kinds of recipe content. Her and her husband are always cooking up something delicious. She does day in the lives, grocery hauls, all kinds of fun stuff. So I think you'll really enjoy her channel. I'll link her channel down below as well as her video. So make sure you go check her out and show her some love and let her know that I sent you over there. So if you're coming over from Jess's channel, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Or if you're just returning to my channel, I'm so glad to have you as well. I do all kinds of what's for dinners, recipes. It's all about the food over here. If that sounds like something you might enjoy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. I would love to have you. And go ahead and turn on that notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. I've got lots of delicious things in store that I know you won't want to miss. But I'm really excited to get into these appetizers. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you're excited to see them. But let's go ahead and get into these recipes. So first up, we have our chicken bacon ranch wonton cups. And y'all, these are so simple, especially if you already have cooked chicken on hand. So I had some cooked chicken and I'm just kind of dicing that up into small bite-sized pieces, and then I'm just going to set that to the side in that measuring cup. I actually started to measure out the full recipe size for this recipe, and then I started thinking I knew not everybody in my house would eat these, so I thought I'm just going to half the recipe. Since it made 12, half would be 6, and that would be perfect, so I went ahead and did that. And in my mixing bowl, I've got some cream cheese that I've softened, and I'm also adding some sour cream. About half a tablespoon of ranch seasoning. Mine is a homemade, no salt ranch seasoning. I've got about a half a cup of cheddar. I'm just using sharp cheddar. And then I'm adding in a good portion of that chicken. That full cup would be the full recipe, but I did go a little over half a cup. But that way we had, plenty of chicken in there and make it a little more hearty too. And then we're going to add in some cooked bacon, and I just used the kind that's already cooked and you just reheat it kind of in the microwave and just crumbled it up to put in there. You want to set a little bit of the cheese aside and a little bit of the bacon aside to top on top of the wonton cups too. So now that our filling is done, we're going to set that to the side and we're going to go ahead and get our wonton cups. We're going to pre-bake those to make sure they get nice and crispy, and I'm just spraying a little cooking spray inside of my muffin tins, and I just go ahead and kind of like rub it around with a paper towel to make sure everything gets all good and coated. And you use 2 wonton wrappers per muffin tin well, whatever you call that. And I just kind of like rotate them a little bit so that you kind of have them crossways and you kind of get more coverage of the wonton cups. And then you push them down in there. Go ahead and spray them with a little bit of the cooking spray again, just to help get them all nice and crispy. And then we're going to bake these at 350 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just make sure that they don't get overdone, because you obviously are going to bake them a little longer too, and you don't want them to get too burnt or anything on the top. And so just where they're nice and just barely golden there. And then we're just going to put that in each wonton cup. I did have enough left over probably for another wonton cup. I probably could have just packed a little more on there, but they seem pretty full, so I was good with that. And I thought we could use that filling for something else, so I went ahead and just saved that. And then I just topped each one of them with some shredded cheese and some of the little bacon bits. And then now it's ready to go into the oven. And I just show you here how much I had left. So not too much at all. And you definitely could go ahead and pile that in those cups if you want to. But here they are done. They only bake for an additional 8 to 10 minutes. And these were so good, y'all. They were super addictive. I cannot recommend this recipe enough. We absolutely love these. And I think They make such fun, like, you know, appetizers to be in like the little wonton cups like that. They look so cute. So definitely a delicious recipe. Next up, we have ham and cheese drop biscuits. So my mom used to make ham and cheese biscuits like with the Bisquick. I don't like really using the Bisquick, so I found this recipe and I thought, I think this is going to work for the ham and cheese. It's actually a sausage muffin recipe that I've kind of used before, but I've changed a little, and then I am now using it for the ham. So I've got some flour and baking powder that went in there. I mixed that together. Then we're adding in our diced ham and some sharp cheddar cheese. And I used probably about a cup or so of ham. I think this is a recipe where put as much or little as you like. If you want a lot of ham in it, go a little heavier on it, because it calls for like 16 ounces of sausage, but I did not use near that amount of ham. So just however much you'd like. So we just stirred that together well. We're mixing our wet ingredients up in this bowl, which is just a cup of milk and 1 egg. And once that gets mixed together, we're going to add that to our dry mixture along with 6 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. And so this is so simple, y'all. I love that the butter is melted so that you don't have to, like, you know, worry about cutting in butter into the flour. It all just mixes together. It ends up being kind of more of a wet dough, but these turned out so good. Oh my goodness, so cheesy. You have the delicious ham in there, and then as well as that, you've got like the fluffy biscuit. It was so very good. I cannot recommend these enough. I've used this recipe kind of to make sausage muffins like this, or sausage drop biscuits, I guess you would call them, and they are super yummy as well. But these are just going to bake at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes until they're done. They won't really brown a whole lot on the top, so keep an eye on them and make sure they don't go too far. But like I said, so yummy. Everybody loved them. They were so good. Now, also while we're on the topic of Christmas appetizers, Christmas party food, you know, all that fun stuff like that, do y'all have plans yet on what you're going to be cooking for Christmas dinner? Let me know down in the comments below, because I have no idea what I'm making yet, and I would love some ideas. So next up is roast beef and cheddar sliders. Y'all, these were so good. I spared y'all having to watch me struggle through cutting these apart. I swear that is always so difficult, but I got them successfully cut apart. I actually did better this time than I usually do, so I should have filmed it. But then I've also got some roast beef here that I'm just layering in here. I went and did kind of like almost a half recipe of this. Actually, half recipe would have been 6. I did 8 sliders. And I've got, I didn't really go by the amounts. I kind of just went by what looked good. So I've just basically laid some, you know, roast beef down. And then I'm layering some thin sliced sharp cheddar cheese on top. And then following that up with a little more roast beef. Then we're just going to put that on there. Now you could add in something else if you wanted to there. If you wanted to add some mayonnaise or horseradish or whatever you like to, that would be good too. But now we're getting ready to make kind of like our sauce or butter, whatever you want to call it, that goes on top, and that stuff is so amazing. So in my bowl, I'm adding some dried minced onion, poppy seeds, Worcestershire sauce, Dijon mustard, some melted butter, and some pepper. Now the recipe also called for salt, but I felt like there was plenty of salt and everything else, so I left that out, but you can obviously add that in. I'll have all these recipes linked below, by the way, in the description box too. We absolutely loved all these recipes. They were so good, so easy. And I definitely will have them on my to make again list because we really liked them. Now once we get all these ingredients in our bowl, we're just going to mix them up and pour them over our sliders. Or I kind of spooned them over to make sure they went over pretty equally. And then the recipe just has you let them sit for 10 minutes covered with foil, and then you put them in the oven. So we do that. They bake it for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. And then you take the cover off, the foil off, and then you let them bake a little bit longer. So they get all delicious and toasty and buttery and delicious. I swear, like, I love these Hawaiian roll sliders. I've tried probably, I think at least a good 2 or 3 recipes before this one, and they've all been so good. And I could have just eaten these rolls with that butter topping. Because, I mean, even if I didn't have the cheese and roast beef, that buttery topping on those rolls were so good. Like when they got all toasty in the oven, it was unreal amazing. So I definitely recommend these. I love finding all the different slider recipes. If you have like an interesting combination for sliders, let me know down in the comments. I love trying new slider recipes. My daughter says she's not a huge fan of the sweet roll with it, but to me, I love the sweet roll with the savory like that. It kind of like, I don't know, just really adds something to it. But here they are out of the oven, and we're just going to cut them apart and put them on our plate, and then, you know, be ready to serve them. So these would be a hit, I guarantee you, at any kind of gathering you have, and they're so easy to make. I mean, you really can't beat how easy that is. And can I just say, I cannot believe it's already December. Is anyone else just completely mind boggled by that? The fact that Christmas is literally so close, and it just seems like this year has flown by. I feel like I'm surprised it hasn't felt like it's kind of drug on, but it actually seems like it's went by super fast. So that just blows my mind that we're already to the last month of the year. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I sure did enjoy making it for y'all. If you did enjoy it, I'd love it if you'd hit that thumbs up. It really does help out my channel so much. Also, don't forget to check out Jess and the Boys. Her channel is awesome. She's always making something delicious over there. Plus, she has lots of other fun content with her 2 sweet little boys and her husband and everybody. So, you know, it's just fun to always watch them. So definitely make sure you go check out her channel. I know she's got something super delicious for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a blessed day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.